Hello, everybody. Welcome once again to Pass Pirate Pay, the movie discussion show. My name is Ken. I'm your host alongside my co-host, Andy. Andy, how you doing?
Pretty well, Ken. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well myself. Getting by. We got a fun show this week, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It's our first ever listener curated event here. So special thanks to Brendan. I'm sure he's listening. But yeah, he's Brendan, our friend, is a gambling man.
Yeah, he made a comment on one of our things, and he curated this episode.
Yeah, so he wanted us to he picked a trifecta of movies about gambling.
I don't even think I've told him that he did this yet.
I told him. I saw him, and I told him that we were doing them all. He was very happy about it. So yeah, Brendan, this one is for you. So this week we got three gambling movies. We're doing The Gambler, the 1980 Kenny Rogers version.
Mm-hmm.
And we're doing 1989's Let It Ride and 1996's Hard 8. So yeah, we'll jump right into it, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, besides The Gambler, because I guess that's a pretty traditional gambling movie. These are some non-traditional choices for gambling movies.
Yeah,
but
sure.
They're good ones, I thought.
Yeah, I had never heard of Let It Ride.
I hadn't either.
And I guess at some point I knew that they had made a movie out of the song The Gambler.
Yeah, I thought I had seen it. You know, there are things that are just in the zeitgeist that you just, I've seen that. And then you watch it and go, oh shit, I have never fucking seen this.
Right.
There's been a lot of things like that for me.
Yeah.
And this was one of them.
Yeah. So so let's dive right in. Let's start with Kenny. We got to know when to hold him, and we got to know when to fold him.
That's right.
It is The Gambler from 1980, directed by Dick Lowry.
Well, first of all, before we do that, we need to preface this by saying, because I don't know how many people know us. Probably 100% of our listeners know who we are on a personal level.
Yep.
But we live in Las Vegas, and we gamble.
Yeah.
You know?
To be sure.
So we have kind of insights on the lifestyle.
Yeah.
You know, the degenerate style.
Oh, absolutely.
And the fun and the heartache and we felt it all, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I personally have been working in casinos for about the better part of 20 years now.
Mm-hmm.
I like poker. I play poker. I like to gamble. I'll throw some money around.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun.
Now, I don't think I've ever talked to you about this. Why did you come to Vegas?
So basically,
you lived in New York.
Yeah, I'm from Long Island originally.
You went to school for writing, right?
Yeah, I was an English major at NYU. After I graduated, I just kind of farted around for a little while for 3 years. Never really. I wrote a novel that was terrible. Never found anywhere to shop it. Couldn't find anybody that was interested in it. And I just worked crappy jobs for a few years. And then I had a friend move out here, a friend of mine from high school, and he was a teacher in New York. And there was, at that time, it was 2005, there was a huge poker boom going on.
Yeah, that's when we started playing at home. Yeah,
that's just when it was getting really huge on TV.
That was Chris Moneymaker era?
Yeah, exactly. But also the population of the city was booming as well. Like these people were just coming here in droves.
Right.
So my friend moved out here.
It was cheap to live here.
Yeah, very cheap at the time. So my friend moved out here. He was going to be a teacher out here. But while he was getting his teaching certificate out here, he got a job dealing poker at a casino, which they were just giving him away to people at the airport at that point, basically. Like it was so easy to get a job.
Ellis Island.
Yeah. So he did that, and like I said, I had nothing really big, nothing really important happening in New York. Nothing was really going on for me there. And he's like, listen, just come out here. You can get a job immediately in poker, and I'm making tons of money. It'll be great. And at the time, I was thinking what he was thinking, which is I would be a teacher at some point. I would just go out here, make some money dealing poker while I got certified to be a teacher. And, then I would go on and live happily ever after.
Mm-hmm.
Well, here it is 20 years later. And that friend of mine is now the shift supervisor at the Wynn Poker Room where I work as a poker dealer. Neither one of us has ever taught since moving out here. And that's just what's going on.
All right. Well, cool. I always wondered why you came out.
Yeah. So that was it. Like I said, nothing much going on back there, and it seemed like this was the land of opportunity. And so it has been.
All right. So
yeah,
I've always wondered.
Yeah, that's my story. That's how I got here. And now I don't think can't imagine I'll ever leave. I enjoy living here. It's a good city to live in.
Yeah. It's getting shittier by the day, though.
Yeah, that's for sure true. But I mean, that's true of everywhere in this country.
Yeah, it kind of is. I think that like we are having the growing pains right now of transitioning from a tourist trap to a real city.
You're right.
The tourist trap people are not used to the trappings of a real city.
Yeah, for sure.
We don't like paying for parking.
Yeah.
We don't like paying more than 99 cents for breakfast or shrimp cocktails.
Yep.
And they're making us do that.
Yep.
And it sucks.
And now, as the city is growing, we now have, a professional hockey team. We got a football team. We got a women's basketball team.
Probably have a baseball team coming.
Baseball team is coming. We have a Formula One race here every year. And so
sports really shifted us from tourist trap to real city.
Right.
That was the real catalyst.
Yep, exactly. And so, things are a lot less convenient for locals than they were 10 years ago before it started exploding out here. But, like you said, it's just growing pains, I think. It's still...
It's a place people want to live rather than they kind of just lived here because there was jobs here.
Yeah, right.
Now people want to live here.
Yeah.
So the home prices reflect that.
Yeah.
Luckily, I get it on the ground floor.
Well done. Well done. Oh, boy. All right. So now let's just dive right in.
All right.
Let's go to Kenny.
All right.
The Gambler, 1980, directed by Dick Lowry. Okay. So this movie, there's a giant 1800s version of the World Series of Poker. It's taking place in San Francisco. And there's a bunch of gamblers getting on this train to ride into San Francisco to go play in this poker tournament.
Yeah.
And among them are our buddy Kenny, who I don't even know his name. The whole time I'm watching
Brady Hawks.
Brady, yeah, that's right.
My ex-wife was named after the gambler character.
Oh, is that true?
Yeah,
that's really funny. Yeah, so Brady Hawks. He that's Kenny's character, and there's also a guy named Billy Montana.
Yeah,
he's a young, handsome guy. We're introduced to him. He comes into this train station waiting to get on the train, and there are these two grizzled old gamblers playing some poker, and he wants to get in a game with them. And basically what happens is all three of these guys are trying to cheat each other, and Billy Montana is the best cheater of the bunch. So the other dudes call him out on it, and they're going to kill him. But then Kenny steps in, Brady Hawks.
So you're all cheating too. He's just doing it better.
That's right. So he breaks it up. And, away we go. And he and Billy Montana quickly become the best of friends. And then there's another woman, a young woman who we later learn used to be a prostitute and then got married and respectable like.
Yeah.
And
who I think is hot.
Yeah. Very good looking woman for sure.
That's like the 70s hot that was my favorite.
But yeah, so because she had been a prostitute, her husband decides to send her back east to finishing school. And so now she has just finished charm school or whatever, and now she knows how to be a lady, and she's taking the train back to her husband so she can be a proper lady for her rich husband. And so those are the good guys that are on the train, and then everybody else is a villain. Everybody else in this movie is a villain.
Yeah.
So this is I've seen a lot of movies in my life. I feel like this is in the running for the least subtle movie I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah, subtlety is not its strong suit.
Like Brady Hawks is the greatest. I can totally understand why Kenny Rogers wanted to do this movie. He's the greatest human being who has ever lived. He's handsome as all get out, and he's
strong, silent type.
He's on the right side of everything, and if you ask him any kind of questions, he will give you some sage advice. Yeah. And he carries around a little 2-shot Derringer pistol, and he's able to just menace huge groups of dudes with this just tiny little pistol. And then Billy Montana, played by Bruce Boxleitner, and he's the naive type, and he starts out, he's on the wrong path, but quickly Brady sets him in the right way.
Yeah. So this is, I guess it's loosely based off the song?
I guess so.
Because I thought that Kenny Rogers was going to be the guy listening to the sage advice.
Right.
He is the sage advice giver.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. I guess because, he's got the gray beard. It's at this point in his life.
Sense.
Yeah,
it makes more sense like when I thought about it. But I was expecting it to be the other way around.
Yeah. And the villains in this movie, like there's a scene where the train makes a stopover in this like dusty little town, and Billy Montana's like, oh, I'm gonna see if I can go find me a poker game here. And he goes into this saloon, and it's like a dozen dudes in there, and they're all just like straight out of Central Casting movie villains, right? They've all got these mustaches. They look grizzled and evil, and they're all like, they got knives, and they just look really awful. And sure enough, Billy, his charm is not apparent to these guys. So they play a little poker, and he starts winning a little, and then it's like, all right, he's not getting out of this town alive. So they're all, they're all threatening to. They got their knives out, and they're gonna cut him, and then Kenny to the rescue. Brady comes in, and a fairly good job of acting by Kenny in this scene, I think, where he is pretending to be drunk when he walks into the saloon. So that to throw these guys off guard, and I think Kenny's drunk acting was pretty funny. Like, it's pretty good.
Okay,
but then he sobers up, pulls the Derringer, and he and Billy run back to the train. And with help from the prostitute, she, as they're running out of the bar, she somehow has a giant pistol of her own, and she just starts firing at these guys.
And cover fire.
Yeah, that's and allows them to get back to the train. But yeah, I mean, it's so funny. Just look, everybody in this movie is just, you can just look at them and know what side they're on. Yeah, the woman is a literal hooker with a heart of gold. Like that's just what she is.
Yes.
So then there's a subplot of this, which, man, is very strange. Apparently, Kenny had a relationship with some woman years back, and then she left him for a no good Nick while she was pregnant with a son that old Brady Hawks never knew about. So he's got this 10-year-old or something kid that he never met, and the mother is living with this ruffian who hates the kid because it belongs to Brady Hawks, and boy does he hate Brady Hawks because he's a bad guy and Brady is this upstanding human.
Yeah,
he's basically gonna kill the kid. Like, it seems like that's his thing. He's gonna just murder this child. So his mom, the kid's mom, sends him off to some other town. They write Brady a letter letting him know that the kid exists, and eventually the kid, Brady, winds up in the town where the kid is staying. And like, nope, this is no good. I'm gonna go confront that scoundrel who's terrorizing my former woman. And it's just like, what is this what is the point of this happening in this movie? It's like, holy cow.
Yeah, for a movie called The Gambler, there was little gambling.
Very little gambling. Very little.
There was some.
Yeah. So I guess that's just about it plot wise.
Spoiler alert. Spoilers for The Gambler ahead. Skip to minute marker 21 minutes, or the next chapter. You have been warned.
We could talk about the ending, which I think is, well, I guess before we get to the very ending, there's a scene where the guy who owns the railroad, he invites Brady into this poker game on the train.
Yeah.
So it's Brady and Billy and the rich guy and this other gambler who Brady knows of, but they've never played against each other, and they're both like, these are the old school, straight up gamblers, and they have a tremendous amount of respect for each other. So eventually we get to this poker game. And have you ever seen The Cincinnati Kid?
I don't think so.
Okay, so it's a really good poker movie. This movie just straight up for like 10 minutes is just ripping off The Cincinnati Kid.
Oh, yeah?
Like, literally.
Is The Cincinnati Kid a Western?
No. It's made in 1965, and it takes place like at
like
that
Rounders,
time.
kind of?
Yeah.
Okay.
So at some point, Billy goes broke, and when to the other gambler guy, and the other gambler shows him his cards, and Billy's like, "How did you play the hand that way?" And the guy says to him, "You just paid the looking price. Lessons are extra." That is a direct quote from The Cincinnati Kid.
Oh,
lifted right out of it.
When was Cincinnati Kid made?
1965.
Oh, a while before that.
Yeah, so Steve McQueen movie. It's really good, actually. So once the rich guy and Billy are busted out, it's just between Kenny and the other guy. And that scene results in some preposterous poker where they're playing 5-card stud. For those of you who don't know,
5-card stud.
Yeah, which is the dumbest poker game ever. And every poker game since then has just been made to make it so that poker is more interesting than that. Because, like most people, if you play Texas Hold'em, you get 2 cards and there's 5 cards on the board. So you get 7 cards to try to make a poker hand out of. Mm-hmm. Or if you're playing 5-card draw poker, you get to draw cards into your hand to try to. So basically, in 5-card stud, you just get 5 cards. And it's just whatever you get on your first 5 cards, that's what you have.
One at a time,
you
right?
get 1 card in the hole, and then you get 4 cards face up.
What a dumb game.
It's so stupid. It's so stupid. So in this movie, the other gambler guy makes 4 of a kind, but Kenny has got a straight flush by the end of it. And again, this is exactly what happens in the Cincinnati Kid. This exact same thing happens. And it's like Kenny has to get so lucky to get these perfect cards to make his straight flush, and he's putting in all of this money before he has the straight flush.
If you're making a poker movie, though, don't you kind of have to?
Yeah, of course. Every poker movie, the poker is preposterous.
Like
all
if the
time.
big final hand was like, I've got 2 pair. Yeah. Oh, I've only got a pair.
Yeah. It's 4 of a kind against straight flush. It's totally ridiculous. But yeah, it's just a straight up lift out of Cincinnati Kid.
Yeah.
So that is the worst part of the movie for me. The best part of the movie for me is the actual ending, where this is the only time where it shows there's no poker involved, but you get to see why Brady Hawks is a good poker player. So he confronts the dude who is trying to murder his son. Mm-hmm. And they get into a fight, and the guy loses his gun, and he's going to reach for it, and Kenny points the Derringer at him, and the guy's like, no, you already shot 2 shots. I know you're out of bullets. And Kenny's like, no, I reloaded while you weren't looking. And he's pointing the Derringer at him, and the guy's trying to decide whether or not to reach for his gun. and it's like, eventually he decides, all right, yeah, maybe he did actually load that thing up, and I don't want to get shot in the head with this Derringer, so I'm just going to give up. And it turns out that Kenny was bluffing all along. And it's just like, oh, he actually, see, this is what a good poker player is, right? Like he wins the fight not by being the best fighter. He wins it by being a good poker player.
Yeah.
He bluffs the guy. It's that was a really cool way to end the movie, I thought. Except they then undercut it by showing that Kenny did actually have a bullet in the chamber, like for no reason. Like the very last shot of the movie is him just pointing the Derringer into the sky and shooting it. And it turns out there was a bullet in it all along. And then you freeze frame on that image of him shooting. Like, what are you doing? Just let him win by bluffing. That's cool. That's what poker is. It's so cool. But yeah. So
it would have been cool if he shot him in the head and goes, oh shit. Yeah.
I thought I was bluffing.
I could have sworn. Oh shit, I'm sorry, man. You okay?
Oh, yeah. So that's it. That's this movie. I thought it was this a made for TV movie?
It feels like it
looked like a made for TV movie.
And I think there was like commercial like fade outs and fade ins.
It looked like it was made on the
made for TV.
It looked like it was made on the super cheap. And
I want to say they all were, because I can't imagine you made one for TV and then number 2 comes out in the theaters.
Yeah, right, exactly.
So I think they were probably made for TV.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, whatever. This is not a very good movie. It's not.
No, it looks cheaply. I mean, if it is a made for TV movie, then it probably was cheaply made. But it looks like all the sets are made out of like cardboard.
Yeah, it looks like crap. The actors, like Kenny's drunk scene notwithstanding, are just not very good. It's just it's formulaic and dumb. And I didn't hate watching it, but it was like, this movie's just not very good. It's just not good.
I was about the same way.
Yeah.
What do you think about the gambler's advice in the song?
It's dumb.
Like, because I've heard you say, why would you never count your money when you're sitting at the table? Like, why is that a faux pas?
Right. It's really stupid.
It sounds like something cool to say.
Right. There's a lot of that going on in this movie too. Where it's like people will say things that sound like they're cool and being deep, but none of it really means anything. Right. Like they ask Billy Montana, he's like, oh, you a poker player? He's like, no, I'm a gambler. Like, okay, what does that mean? Like, what are you doing? Like,
isn't that the same thing, jack off?
Right. Like, so
actually, isn't poker less gambling?
That is true.
I think it's a little less gambling.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, you could classify it as gambling, but it's not like you're against the house.
Right.
You know,
poker is a skill game with significant gambling involved.
Yeah.
But it is skill based,
Yeah.
It's just, but yeah, I don't, yeah, but you're right. The advice in the song is really stupid. Anybody out there, if you ever play poker, you should know how much money you have in front of you. That's just good advice.
Yeah, at least roughly.
Yeah, like just have some idea. So that's my advice.
Yeah, it would make the game moves faster because when somebody puts you all in, you can say, "I have this much."
Right.
Yeah. What happens if they ask how much you have and you take the advice? Like, nope, I ain't counting this. I'm sitting at the table.
Yeah, it's really strange. Really, really strange. I've never understood it. I don't know why. I don't know why that's in the song. But it's a great song. So
I do love the
song. It's
a
really catchy song.
Yeah, I do love it. All right. So Ken, is it a pass, pirate, pay for the gambler?
This one's a pass for me.
Yeah, the pass for me too.
Yeah.
if you're like doing the dishes and you want something on, that's going to be non-offensive.
Sure.
And just to be like 70s comfort food.
Yeah, right.
Or 80s, I guess. 80s comfort food.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, this is definitely one of the top 25 movies ever made based on a country song. All right, our second movie is 1989's Let It Ride, directed by Joe Pytka.
I would like to say one thing.
Yeah.
3 movies about gambling. None of them take place in Vegas.
Yeah, strange, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is weird. I guess Hard 8 starts in Vegas, but eventually they go to Reno.
And none of it was filmed in Vegas.
That I don't know.
Yeah, I looked that up.
Okay.
No, it was all filmed in Northern Nevada.
Yeah, that's really weird. Yeah, because
I'm looking at the settings and I'm like, this looks like shitty Reno.
Yeah,
and it is.
Yeah. The Gambler was, who knows, Old West, but not Vegas. And Let It Ride, is that Miami? It looks like Miami.
I don't know, but it's horses, so it's not Vegas.
Right. It looks like Miami to me. It gives off strong Miami vibes, I think.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Have you, I'm going to ask you something. Have you ever had experience at horse tracks? Because you were from New York.
Yeah.
Did you ever do horse tracks in New York?
A couple of times. Like my folks took me to a horse racing track.
It seems like a whole culture.
Yeah. I don't have that much I don't have that much experience of it in New York, but I have worked in some shitty casinos here in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And the poker rooms in those shitty casinos are inevitably right next to the race and sports book.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a lot of familiarity with horse degenerates.
Yeah.
I've known quite a few of them in my life. And boy, they are their own thing. It is quite an experience. And this movie for sure is made by people who are intimately familiar with this exact kind of people, these horse degenerates. Oh my God. So the plot of this movie is Richard Dreyfuss is our main character. He's a cab driver and he's friends with another cab driver played by David Johansen, aka Buster Poindexter.
It was also a cab driver
in Scrooge, which came out the same year as this.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh shit.
Or maybe it was next year. Scrooge might be this is 89. Scrooge might be 90, but it's right there.
I think Scrooge was 89.
Yeah, so it's like David Johansen is just like he's in full cab driver mode,
and he's perfect for that.
He's great. He's great. But yeah, so in this movie, David Johansen's cabbie, he has a thing where he likes to record the people in his cab talking, just record their conversations,
and then taxi cab confessions.
Yeah, and then listen to them and play them back for his friends later. So these two dudes are in the back of his cab, and one of them has some inside information on a horse race. And it's like, all right, it's on. And he doesn't want to do anything with it. But Richard Dreyfuss is like, no. We got to get down to the track. I've got my entire life savings, $100. And we're going to put it on this horse and it's going to win. But actually, he doesn't do that. He gives 50 of his entire life savings to David Johansen and tells him to put it on the race for himself, which David Johansen does not do because of weird horse racing degenerate superstition shit.
Yeah. See, there's a lot of that in this.
Yeah. So he puts the money on the horse wins, and he's like, I'm rich. He wins $710 on the race, and he starts yelling about how rich he is.
Mm-hmm.
So rich that he's at the track, and he has to put the money in his shoes so that he can make it out alive.
Right.
Because he's going to get mugged. He's going to get mugged for this $700. the movie starts with him and his wife, who's played by Terry Garr, who's
at her hottest.
Great in this movie. Yeah, looking good, but just really super hilarious in this movie too. They're at a Chinese restaurant and they open up before they have a great argument about whether or not she has tainted the fortune cookie just by touching it. He's like yelling at her. No. You
just
have
shows
to
you how dumb and superstitious they are.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's like, no, you have to open that cookie now. It's yours because you touched it. And she's like, no, it doesn't become mine until after I open it.
Everybody in the restaurant saying,
and everybody in the everybody in the restaurant is weighing in on whether or not she tampered with it by touching it. But eventually, he opens up his fortune cookie, and its fortune is you could be walking around lucky and not even know it. And that's like the theme of this movie because what we find out is Richard Dreyfuss is having the luckiest day of his life.
Yeah.
So rather than take the $710 and do something nice with it for his wife or do something intelligent with it, no. I got a feeling I'm letting it ride, which is why the movie is called Let It Ride. He's like, I'm letting it ride. He puts it all on another horse race. It wins that one.
And doesn't he have like different, like every time he puts money on another race, he has a different methodology behind it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like it's never like the same reasons.
Right, exactly. And the best one of these, which is so perfect, if you know anything about these people, I swear I could have done this 100 times in my life, just the thing that he does, where he walks around the racetrack and he just starts asking people which horse they like in the upcoming race.
Yeah.
And every time he gets advice, the person has whatever reasons that feel really intelligent to that person.
Right. All different horses, all different reasons.
But they all know, no, it's definitely this horse. No, it's definitely this horse or whatever. And anytime he gets a piece of advice, he just draws a line through that horse. And he does that until he runs out of horses and there's only one left. So he picks the horse that none of these morons have decided that it was a good idea for him to pick. And he puts it, and every time he does it, he just takes all of the money that he has already won and he just lets it all ride. He just keeps running it back. He just keeps going to do it. So this is a thing that is no longer relevant, but I guess back then they didn't have the ability to put down strange, odd dollar amounts on any given race. So there's like a $2 window where if you go to that, you have to bet $2 and $2 only on the result of the race.
Right.
And then the high rollers window, which is where he winds up here, is a $50 ticket.
And you have to buy a bunch of them.
So so when he buys his first one, it's just, all right, here's one $50 ticket. Great. Then when he's letting it ride, he's got $710 and he's like, okay, now I need 14 $50 tickets. It's just really weird. And then when it gets to the super big numbers, like the guy at the counter can't even take it anymore. He's like, no, we have to go to the back where they count the money, and that's how we're gonna have to put this thing through.
And was that Robbie Coltrane?
It's Robbie Coltrane.
Yeah, it was Hagrid, right?
Yep, good old Hagrid himself. And man, we go on a ride with him. So when we first get there, Robbie Coltrane is the guy who writes the tickets. He knows that Richard Dreyfuss is a loser, right? And he's like, excuse me, this is the $50 window. You want the $2 window? Yeah. But as the thing goes on, eventually Robbie Coltrane is just like, you are the greatest. At some point, he actually says to him, you're the champ. I'm going to tell my grandkids about you. Just because he is making these ridiculously huge wagers on these horse races. So this movie is...
I like big. When he gets invited into the rich people club.
Yeah.
And meets Jennifer Tilly at her hottest.
This is, I think, her first movie. This is her first ever movie.
She's hot in that.
She looks great. And she's also really funny.
She's really funny.
Really funny.
That dingy character she plays and that voice, she does it really, really well.
Yeah, exactly. And this is the first time we ever get to see her doing it. Yeah, I mean, boy, yeah, she looks fantastic. So her character is the arm candy of this really super rich guy, and he's a moron and he's a schlub, but he's got all this money, so she stays with him. But as the movie goes along, she's becoming more and more, I don't know about this guy, and she's starting to get a little turned on by Richard Dreyfuss, and see what's going to happen there. But yeah, she's great. She's really funny in this movie. You forget because she's been doing a kind of a parody of that for so long now. Yeah. But man, when she was on, she was really funny. She was really good. She was a really good comedic actress at that point, you know? This movie, everybody's really going for it. It's a comedy, right? It's a It's a broad comedy.
It's a little bit screwball.
Yeah. Like there's one scene where there's a mistaken identity and Richard Dreyfuss is arrested and they've got him in this back room and he's got his hands cuffed behind him and they're like, they think he's this other guy who's stabbed somebody or something. And he's trying to get to the window to bet the next horse race.
Right.
And like he's cuffed and like he's like, you gotta let me out of here. I'm not this guy. You gotta let me. And he's screaming like if you've seen What About Bob at the end of that movie where he's just completely off the rails and shrieking and doing like he's doing that a bunch of times in this movie too. And it's so big. So he's handcuffed and he like bursts through the door, like he breaks down the door like he's the Kool-Aid man. just to get to the window to bet this race. So here's a fun gambling story from my real life. Actually, it wasn't me. It was Josh, but I had heard. I know the people involved, and I heard the story firsthand. When I was working at Palace Station, this guy was a horse and sports betting degenerate.
Yeah.
This guy, his name is Perry Bruno. Really ridiculous human being. Funny. It was just a guy we really loved having around because he was just so insane.
Yeah.
So one day in the poker room, this guy starts having a heart attack. And to the point where paramedics are called, the ambulance shows up, they bring a gurney and put him on the stretcher, laying down. And as they're wheeling him out, he is yelling to anyone in the room who will listen, somebody go put in a bet for me. I gotta get the Raiders +9. That is shit that really happened. Need somebody to go to the betting window.
The last thing on earth he might do.
He's just got to get a bet in on the Raiders. So yeah, this movie is very like, even as ridiculous as it is, the thing I love about it is that it is so real. It's so real to me. These people are people I have met. I know them. Like,
yeah, it felt real when I was watching it. But it also felt like that horse culture.
Yeah,
is not the same kind of thing you see here.
Yeah.
You know, it's a little bit different than that.
Yeah, I'm telling you, you do see those guys. You really do.
I can imagine if you're hanging out with Sportsbook, like, but like the general vibe of Vegas isn't really like that.
That's true. That's for sure true. All the horse degenerates hang out in this like shitty bar, this really seedy, crappy bar. And it's just like you're walking around and you're seeing all these characters and it's just like, Yep, this is real. These guys, this is made by people who know what they are doing. This is So yeah, I mean, this movie is a lot of fun, and it's especially like a lot of our listeners have similar life experience to us and know some people who are like this, and I just
are people,
like I feel like anybody who has spent any kind of time around people who gamble will get a tremendous amount of enjoyment out of this movie. I know I sure did.
Spoiler alert. Spoilers for Let It Ride ahead. Skip to minute marker 38 minutes and 36 seconds, or the next chapter. You have been warned.
What I liked about the end is I was expecting the bubble to burst.
Yeah, of course.
I was expecting everything to come crashing down and him to lose everything, and he didn't.
It never happens that way in the movie.
Which was surprising to me.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, it never happens that way, right? Every time you see a movie like this, the guy loses everything, but then comes to the realization that money wasn't important anyway, or whatever.
The people, people around me were that was the journey all along.
Exactly. But it's just like, oh, wait a minute, nope. Like, this guy really is just having the luckiest day in history. Luckiest day in history. It's it's fantastic. But he also comes to the realization of what's important too, right? Because at the end of the movie, we're on spoiler territory. Jennifer Tilly is like, do you want to have sex with me? I'm leaving this rich guy. I'm done with him. Like, how about you and I have a go? And he's like, no, you know what? I actually kind of love my wife. Why don't you go have sex with David Johansen and his weird Hawaiian shirt that one button is buttoned for the entire movie?
He's a New York doll. He can do whatever he wants.
Right. So yeah, I guess that's all I got to say about Let It Ride.
All right. So would you give Let It Ride a pass pirate pay?
That's a pay for sure for me. Absolutely.
It's a pay for me too. When Richard Dreyfuss is on fire, he's really good.
He's so funny.
Yep. Like, he really gives it his all.
Yep. And everybody in this movie is cooking. Like, really, really cooking. once he starts winning a lot, there's a cop, one of the cops who arrested him early on, then becomes his bodyguard.
Right.
And that guy is just really funny, right? Like at some point, Dreyfuss is in the bar with all the seedy people, and the cop is there watching him, and he's like, I have excellent peripheral vision. Like he's just like doing really super weird things, but it's just really funny. Everybody's great in this movie. It's just really fun.
Good stuff. Great movie for degenerate piece of shit gamblers.
Absolutely. All right. Our third movie today is 1996's Hard Eight. This is the directorial debut of Paul Thomas Anderson.
Yeah, I had never heard of this movie.
Yeah.
Which surprises me. I just never heard of it.
Yeah, this is a movie I watched long ago, and did not remember too much of. So
what year? 96.
96. Yeah. I certainly didn't see it until after I saw Boogie Nights. But I probably watched it not too long after that, because
that's like what everybody did with Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Except this one is way less well known than Reservoir Dogs. Yeah. But yeah, so originally the movie, Paul Thomas Anderson wanted it to be called Sydney, which is the name of the main character played by Philip Baker Hall.
Okay.
And the studio decided that Hard Eight would be a better title, which led to when he made Boogie Nights. He starts Boogie Nights with the crazy Scorsese 3-minute long tracking shot.
The oneer?
Yeah. And as the tracking shot is going along, you see in neon lights the title Boogie Nights come up on the on one of the buildings, and he's like, I just did it that way so the studio could not possibly take the movie title away from me, because he had no choice to do it.
I thought you were going to say that he wanted that one to be called Hard Eight too.
Yeah, so this movie is about so Sydney, played by Philip Baker Hall, is an old-time gambler, and he befriends a guy named John, played by John C. Reilly. He's like, looks like he's homeless. He's cold, like shivering outside of a Denny's or something.
Yeah.
And, he offers to buy him a cup of coffee and have a conversation with him. And eventually it leads to him helping John out and them eventually becoming friends. The opening scene is pretty funny, I think. John C. Reilly is totally in his bag as like a dopey man-child person in this.
Yeah.
Like he's doing exactly what you want from him at this point of his life, and really good at it. So as Sydney is offering to drive him somewhere, John C. Reilly is like, his gaydar is screaming at him. So he just keeps saying, if you fuck with me, I will fuck you up. Like he's like constantly threatening him. It's okay. It's okay. So eventually they go off together and they become friends. And the movie cuts to a couple of years after that, where the two of them have an established relationship, and they're
but before that, he takes him under his wing and shows him how to manipulate the casino game. He teaches him all the Mark Jenkins theater tricks.
So this is some weird stuff for me, because like I said, I've been working in casinos for a while, but this takes place more than 10 years before I started working in casinos.
Right.
And things were very, very different.
Mm-hmm.
Like nothing was computerized. When I moved out here, there basically were no slot machines left that paid out in quarters. It was just all tickets.
Yeah, I remember those days.
Yeah. But yeah, for the most part, those were almost all gone. So the thing that John C. Reilly does, the thing that Sydney tells John to do, could never be done now because everything is all done on computers.
Right.
But it's kind of clever the way they do it, right? He tells him to go and buy $100 worth of dollar tokens, because that's what the slot machines took in those days.
Mm-hmm.
Gamble it a little bit, get yourself a player's card. So you get a player's card, and every time he buys $100, and they write on his player cards, okay, this guy bought $100. So then he plays a little bit, and then takes whatever's left and goes and cashes it out at a different cashier cage without giving them the player's card. And then he just goes and he takes and buys another 100 from the same cashier again. And at some point he's bought like $500 worth of dollar tokens while having spent basically no money, because he wins a little bit at one point and, whatever.
Uh-huh.
So the pit bosses are like, hey, you're spending a lot of money here. How would you like a room and a meal? We'll get you everything you want. And it's just like, this is how they've gamed the system. They just give them a room, right?
So you couldn't do that. But there's still other things you can do.
Oh yeah, for sure.
We know guys who make a living that way.
Yeah, we sure do. We sure do. Yeah, you gotta work a little harder at it now. You gotta know which machines are gonna be the ones that are paying off, and it's just gotta you
got to know how much to gamble in order to get the things.
Yep. But yeah, you're right. We know quite a few people who this is their bread and butter.
Yeah.
And yeah. But yeah, so I thought that was really interesting. I thought it was really cool to see the way things were done back then. It's just really strange, So then we cut to a couple years later, and John and Sydney are they just casino hustling? It's really unclear to me. Like, are they living in? It seems like they're living in casino hotel rooms
or motel rooms.
Yeah. So it's very strange. They're wearing nice looking suits because that's part of the key. You got to make it look like you don't need it.
Yeah, it feels like this just casino ass lifestyle.
Yeah,
like
it's very strange. It's really weird. This is another movie where it gets a lot right, but the gambling, the actual nuts and bolts of the gambling seems to make no sense to me. Like,
yeah, it almost seems like backdrop.
Yeah,
in this, like the gambling isn't really the focus.
Yeah, and I'm sure that's the case, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I'm sure they didn't make it too much of an effort to put like Sydney is supposed to be this really wise figure. He's like the smart gambler type guy, but like we see him playing Keno and craps. And it's like, what? It's so weird.
Like at a restaurant Keno.
Yeah, he's just hanging out in a casino coffee shop playing $2 Keno or whatever.
I remember that.
It's really weird.
Do they still have that with like the crayons?
I think they do.
The diner.
I think they do. It's been a while since I've everybody I know that would come out here just lives out here now. So I don't go to casinos like on the strip anymore, basically.
Yeah, but I mean, they used to have that Keno stuff on Water Street.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true. But like, I know, like, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago, I had a friend come out here and he was staying at like the Treasure Island, and we would just go into the Treasure Island coffee shop and be like, hey, why don't we play some Keno? And it was there. Every table had the crayons and the little pieces of newspaper, the Keno.
I remember they had Keno at the El Dorado where you could just give them like $300 and then leave. And then come back and say, how'd I do?
Yep.
And then you just play Keno all day and not even look at it.
Right. Which makes no sense to me. Like, I just don't understand. Like, I'm a degenerate. I have a lot of degenerate gambling kind of proclivities, but I want to be, the fun for me is the sweat.
The endorphins.
Yeah. I want to know if I'm winning or losing.
That kind of Keno is like all the money losing, but none of the fun.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So here's another... I guess, yeah, I mean, whatever. This is the gambling podcast. I'll tell my goofy gambling stories that I know.
Okay.
Once again, when I was working at Palace Station, there was this guy who, during football season, he went and got a parlay card it's just a card that has every college and pro football game for the entire weekend on it. Okay. And you just pick winners and you fill it. It's like a Scantron sheet.
And you can pick as many as you want. I think a minimum of 3.
It's like 3 from anywhere from 3 up to like 15. You can pick that for that many teams.
And the more you pick, the more the
crazier the odds are. Yeah, exactly. So this guy didn't know anything about football, didn't intend to watch the games, but just wanted to do something. So he went and he picked up a parlay card and he bet the first 10 teams in the left-hand column of every game. So he just starts at the top of the card and picks the first 10 games, whichever team was in the left-hand column.
Okay.
And then on Monday, he came walking into the sports book and he's just like, here's my ticket. How did we do? He paid $5. It paid 8,000 to 1. He won $4,000.
He won.
He just won. Just the left-hand column 10 just won. Just
oh
won.
My God. I didn't know he was going to win one.
And he was so proud. He was telling everybody, he's like,
how much did he win?
He won $4,000 on a $5 bet.
Oh my God. That is insane.
It's totally nuts. And then so for the rest of football season, he didn't just pick the top 10 teams. He would pick the top 10 teams and then the next 10 teams and then the next 10 teams, and he just did it every time for the entire card because he had all this money. He's just going to keep doing it, but he never won again, obviously. Yeah, it's so ridiculous. I mean, it's basically like betting $5 on a coin flip and letting it ride 10 times, and you have to hit heads 10 times in a row.
It can happen.
Right.
It's not impossible. Wow.
Yep, that happened. Yeah, so back to the movie. But yeah, so like I said, the gambling doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but the rest of the movie I feel is really good. So we meet Gwyneth Paltrow. She plays a cocktail waitress / prostitute. And she...
Girls got to eat.
Yeah. So she, in the course of, serving drinks to Sydney and John, she starts to develop a little thing with John, and they start to fall in love a little bit. And John's also got a friend named Jimmy, played by Samuel L. Jackson. And he is a very shady character. When we're first introduced to him, John, Sydney, and Jimmy are sitting at a table in the coffee shop, and Jimmy just starts talking about all the pussy that's walking around, and this is very, very offensive to Sydney. He doesn't want to hear that kind of talk. He very doesn't want this. So he has an instant dislike of Jimmy. So this movie, it's weird, right?
So you don't really know, like the whole time you're wondering why is Sydney doing this for this guy? Like he's John C. Reilly's such a loser.
Yep. Yeah. So at the time he explains it to him, like, if you had the opportunity to do it for me, I bet you would, right? Like that's his rationale, which just doesn't make any sense, right? But yeah, so eventually we do learn why he did it. And we'll get to that in a minute. But I just thought it was really strange. During this time, this movie doesn't take place in Vegas, but it takes place in casinos largely. And there's a trend of, in this time period, blonde-haired prostitutes with damaged pasts befriending weird loser guys. So it's Elizabeth Shue in Leaving Las Vegas. It's Sharon Stone in Casino. It's and we got Gwyneth Paltrow here. I can't remember, is Maria Bello a prostitute in The Cooler?
I don't know if she's a prostitute.
I can't remember if she's a prostitute, but she's certainly a blonde woman with a troubled past. Yeah. It was like, this is a really strange thing. I was like, because when
that's all around the same time?
Yeah, it's all within like the same 10-year period. I'm watching the movie and I was like, I know I've seen this before, but this seems awfully familiar to me.
It's
I'm like,
if
wait
you're
a minute.
doing a movie set in Vegas, like what other role is a woman? A cashier?
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, but yeah, you're right. You're right about that.
A stripper, a stripper or a hooker, you know?
Yep.
Or a cocktail waitress that also strips or hooks.
Yeah. But yeah, so I was
Which isn't far off from real life.
Like I said before about John C. Reilly playing exactly to type what you think about him. Most of the people in this movie are playing exactly what you think of them, right? Like Philip Baker Hall is always the like stern guy who knows what's going on. The library cop. Yeah, I think at this point, when this movie was made, I think that was the thing he was best known for. Yeah, like being the library policeman on Seinfeld
the whole time.
Yeah, and Samuel L. Jackson is playing like a hot-headed, loudmouth, smooth-talking dude. But the one person that's not doing that is Gwyneth Paltrow, right? Like when you think of typical Gwyneth Paltrow roles, you think of somebody who's very together, very smart, like cool. So in this movie, she's like kind of dopey. She's really hot-headed, making really dumb, impulsive decisions a lot of the time.
She's not smart. She's not a smart woman.
Yeah. And yeah, it's really interesting to see her. I mean, I guess this is before she got like super duper famous.
What was she in before this?
So Seven came out in 95.
So right before this.
Right before that. And I don't know what else we might have seen her in before that. She didn't have a
big giant role in Seven either.
No, not really. But yeah, so she was like kind of a famous person because I think she was dating Brad Pitt right after that. I can't remember, like Emma might have come out around the same time as this. But you're still 2 years away from Shakespeare in Love, and that's when she really took off. But it was really interesting to see because of like the whole Goop thing now, and she's like kind of a parody. She's kind of a joke when you think about it. But I forget, she's a really good actor. Like, I think she's phenomenal in this movie. I think she's really, really good. I really like. She is the best part of the movie to me. I think she's like, all of her scenes are the best stuff in the movie, with the one exception, of course, being the crap scene with Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Oh yeah. What a great... Has he been in anything?
Boy. So, yeah, he was in Scent of a Woman, playing a similar asshole.
Was he in Scent of a Woman?
Yeah. Yep. That was like 93.
Okay.
And he's playing a similar kind of asshole. But in this movie, man, he is firing. He is just a super dick. And
that is one archetype that I have definitely seen in Vegas.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Especially at crap tables.
Absolutely. So the movie's called Hard Eight because, for those who don't know, Hard Eight is a bet in craps where you have to roll 2 4s. That's what a hard 8 is. It's
or a hard anything.
Yeah, hard. So a hard 6 is 2 3s. A hard 4 is 2 2s. Yeah, and the bet pays out. It's hard to hit, and if you roll So you win the bet if you roll 2 4s. You lose the bet if you roll a 7 or an 8 that is not a hard, not 2 4s.
It's a sucker bet.
It's a bad bet. The odds are no good. But
it's fun. It's fun when you hit it.
Yeah. Before we see Sydney do it, we hear a story. Jimmy tells a story about seeing him years before putting $2,000 on the hard 8. So then we get to this craft scene, and Philip Seymour Hoffman is the guy throwing the dice, and he sees Sydney, and he's just laying into him. Hey, old timer, come on, grandpa, like just doing all that kind of stuff, just being the biggest jerk you could ever possibly see. And he's betting little bets, and I'm sure everybody there is betting little bets, and eventually Sydney just like, you know what, I can't take it, and he puts $2,000 on the hard 8 again. And and all of a sudden, Philip Seymour was like, "Whoa, what's this old timer doing?" The
emotional roller coaster, that Philip Seymour Hoffman's douchebag character goes through is really genuine.
Yep, absolutely. And eventually, he puts 100 on the hard 8 himself because he's so impressed by this old man. And sure enough, it loses. But that scene, man, that's like the standout scene of the movie. It's just so much fun.
It is. I almost wanted the movie to start following Philip Seymour Hoffman after that. Like, I kind of want to watch this guy's journey.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. Spoilers for Hard 8 ahead. Skip to minute marker 57 minutes and 5 seconds, or the next chapter. You have been warned.
Eventually, we learn why Sydney is being so nice to John, and it's because Jimmy has information. It turns out that there was a dispute some years before Sydney had even met John, and Sydney shot
in Atlantic City, right?
I think that's what it was. Yeah. And Sydney had shot John's father and killed him. We don't really know why, but that's what happened. Mm-hmm. So, and when we first meet John in this movie, his mother has just died. And the reason he's so down on his luck is because he needs $6,000 to pay for the funeral, which eventually Sydney finds for him, and that's how they become friends.
Yeah.
But so we learn that this is what's going on, and Jimmy intends to blackmail Sydney so that John never finds out about it, which eventually leads to you don't screw around with Sydney. That's what we learn. This is what we learn, but not before. So Jimmy gets I think he wants he tries to get 10 grand out of him, but he can only get 6. So he gets 6 grand from Sydney, and he's going out for a night on the town. He's having himself a good time. We see him at the craps table. Sure enough, he bets the same 2 grand on the hard 8, and this time he actually hits it. So Sydney can never win on this bet, but Jimmy, he hits it. But his joy is short lived because he comes back to his hotel room, got a woman there. He's about to have himself a good night. But no, sure enough, Sydney plugs him, just shoots
laying
him,
in wait,
shoots him a bunch of times. Takes all the money. Sydney gets to win on the hard 8 after all. I guess, we should mention that the other main thing that happens in the movie is Gwyneth Paltrow's prostitute her name's Clementine. She had a John not pay her. And so she calls John to come and help collect the money. And they wind up cuffing this dude to the bed and beating the hell out of him. So he's like, so we see him, he's bloody on the bed with his hands cuffed to the bed.
Yeah.
And they're not going to let him go until he gets the money. And they've called his wife to try to get the money. And it's like, these are
just made every mistake.
Very stupid decisions. So then they call Sydney to get help. And he comes over and he eventually convinces them, okay, just don't worry about the money. Just let this guy go and get out of town. So the John and Clementine's story is they take a trip to Niagara Falls. They go and they get married. They'd gotten married right before this, unbeknownst to anybody. And now we're gonna go take a honeymoon to Niagara Falls.
Yeah.
And while Sydney is back home killing Jimmy, they're off having the time of their lives. And for all we know, they get to live happily ever after.
Yeah.
So it all worked out for them. So yeah, I'm on record as saying there's never been a Paul Thomas Anderson movie that I don't like. This one is, I think, my least favorite, but I still think it's quite good.
It's really cool, like when you have something in capable hands, because I think that a lot of this movie, a lot of the writing, a lot of the plot, a lot of the subject matter are pretty well-worn tropes.
Yeah, for sure.
They're the hooker with a heart of gold. Yeah. The degenerate gamblers, the gangsters, it's pretty like well-worn territory, but when in capable hands, like it just, the whole vibe of the movie was cool.
Yeah.
Like it all felt like you were in a dingy casino.
Yeah, right.
And it came across as genuine, which is, I think, kind of a feat.
Yeah.
With all these, like, just,
yeah.
There's cliches.
Yeah. And it's funny to think, like, because, like, when he made this movie, he was, like, in his 20s. He's, like, super young, and it's his first movie, and it's just, but, like.
And that's why I think those cliches and stuff are forgivable. And not only because it's done while they're forgivable, but it's his first shot,
But, I mean, you can just see watching the movie. You can tell, even though he's not there yet, you're like, this guy's got it. This guy knows how to make a movie. This is, this is a very capable filmmaker.
Yeah.
And that's, that's just what it is. Yeah, I agree with everything you just said. I think the movie done by almost anybody else would have just been totally forgettable.
Yeah.
But this movie's just done really well.
Mm-hmm. And I think that all the actors have, like, I kept seeing that goddamn library policeman.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I kept, like, I couldn't see him as like a badass.
Yeah.
Even when he was being a badass,
So for me, I mean, the first time I ever saw him,
I would have loved to seen De Niro in that role.
The first time I ever saw Philip Baker Hall was on Seinfeld, for sure. But in the intervening years, I have watched Boogie Nights and Magnolia like a dozen times each. Uh-huh. So Philip Baker Hall is those guys to me. Yeah. More so than the library cop. So I have no problem believing him here. There was a nice little Easter egg, I guess a future Easter egg. At one point, Jimmy is naming off hard asses that he had encountered along with Sydney, and the names he gives are Floyd Gondoli and Jimmy Gator, and those are the characters played by Philip Baker Hall in Boogie Nights and Magnolia.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So it's like a pre-Easter egg. He's like,
That's just gonna cool.
Yeah, it's really funny.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's really good.
All right, so is Hard 8 a pass pirate pay for you, Ken?
This one's a pay for me too. I'm definitely
a pay for me.
Yeah, solid. Yeah. All right. So what do we got going on next time?
All right, so we're gonna do game show movies, Ken.
Okay.
Movies about game shows. I don't know if you've seen these. I'm hoping you haven't.
Okay.
We're gonna do The Running Man.
The new one?
The new Running Man.
Okay, have not seen it.
We are going to do Quiz Show.
Love Quiz Show.
Yeah?
Yeah, I love it. One of my favorite movies, actually.
Okay, I don't think I've seen it.
Okay, cool.
And the third one is The Luckiest Man in America.
Okay. All right.
And those we're going to do game show movies.
Cool. I'm down.
So I have not seen Quiz Show. You might have seen it.
Yeah.
Loved it, but I have not seen Quiz Show.
I actually watched it again fairly recently because when Robert Redford died.
Oh, that's right. He directed that.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
One of my favorite actors is in it, Joel Fleischman from Northern Exposure.
I only know that guy from Quiz Show.
Yeah?
Yeah, you were watching, I saw you watching an episode of Northern Exposure the other day, and I was like, oh, that's the guy from Quiz Show.
Oh, yeah. Rob Morrow
Yep.
was his name.
Yep.
All right, cool. So that's what we're doing next week.
All right, let's do it.
All right, we'll see you then.
Thanks for tuning in to Pass Pirate Pay. This episode was produced by the one and only Andy Morris. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button on your favorite podcast app. We'd hate for you to miss out on all the fun. Curious about where to stream the movies we talked about? Head on over to passpiratepay.com. We've got everything listed with handy links on where to watch. You can also join the conversation on our Facebook page or stalk our cinematic musings on Letterboxd. Links are on the site. Got a movie or a TV show you think we should review? Fill out the contact form, or this is cool, you can even text us right through the episode player on our website's front page. Thanks again for hanging out with us. Until next time, keep watching, keep rating, and keep it past Pirate Pay.